bone is addicted to loading. If you don't load the bone will lose the bone mass. Bone is addicted to this. If I shake my bone, it's like shaking this bottle. The canalicular fluid that's inside the bone moves back and forth, and little bone cells have these projections coming out. And that kind of a fluid shear stress is very stimulating. Bone doesn't see static load, so it has to be cyclic.
By cyclic, you mean vibration?
Right. And when you have cyclic load, bone responds vigorously, and it calculates how much load is in what part of the bone, and it adjusts. It's a smart material.
Welcome to Good Vibes with Becky Chambers. Everything you need to know about whole body vibration from the world's leading expert.
For informational purposes only, not medical advice, consult a qualified healthcare professional before making health decisions. The creator of this content is not responsible for any actions taken based on the information provided.
So I am just so honored and excited today to have Dr. Jack Yu here today with us. He is a surgeon, a medical doctor, a professor, and a scientific researcher. He is a powerhouse in pediatric plastic surgery and a trailblazer in surgical education, as well as in whole body vibration research. Thank you so much for being here, Jack. And could you tell us about your research with whole body vibration?
Sure. Story goes back almost 15, 20 years. So the work that we do with bone homeostasis eventually led us to form a small core group of people who are interested in bone, including the orthopedic surgeons, the cell biologists, endocrinologists. So we called ourselves the Bone Group almost 15 years ago. NASA at that time was very interested to figure out ways to combat space flight weightlessness-induced bone loss. You know, when astronauts go up to space for months, they will lose a lot of calcium, they will lose a lot of muscle, they all become sarcopenic. So anyway, we start look into different ways to improve the bone retention. And one of the ways that have been used or tried is to try to vibrate. Now, Albert Einstein was the first one to do this thought experiment. If you get into an elevator and the elevator goes up, and you will feel your weight increase. And you inside the elevator will not know whether it's because the elevator is having acceleration upwards or the mass of the Earth just increased, because it is relative to the two masses. And so during the upstroke, you will generate a gravitational field like force. So we vibrate a group of mice, and we were hoping to show that we can have a good effect in bone mass preservation. Well, we did find that there's a shift. There's a bit more increase in the denser bones. Bone is addicted to loading. If you don't load the bone will lose the bone mass. When we increase during the upstroke, there will be more, and bone is responding. Bone is addicted to this. So if I shake my bone, it's like shaking this bottle. The canalicular fluid that's inside the bone moves back and forth, and little bone cells have these projections coming out. And that kind of a fluid shear stress is very stimulating. Bone doesn't see static load, so it has to be cyclic. And when you have cyclic load, bone responds vigorously, and it calculates how much load is in what part of the bone, and it adjusts. It's a smart material.
So by cyclic, you mean like the vibration?
Vibration is cyclic. You know, your muscle contraction is also cyclic. Stand up, sit down. But it did change the bone density spectrum. The overall effect in healthy individuals is not that dramatic. it's hard to improve that which is already pretty good.
So the vibration has some benefit to building bone, but it wasn't as much as you hoped, which that might explain why my experience is some people increase bone density pretty effectively with vibration, but a lot of us have to work hard at it and do other things as well, like particularly resistance training and good nutrition along with the vibration.
Right. But the good news, Becky, is that we use otherwise healthy, mostly male mice. In female mice or rat, if you take out the ovaries to simulate the ovarian failure that comes with menopause, vibration does help because you are losing bone.
You're saying that for older women, where this is the huge problem with osteoporosis for the vast majority of people, you actually do see an improvement. That's terrific because that's the population that really needs bone density increase. So, okay, that's just exciting. And there's other effects that are helping, such as you then went into inflammation research, right?
Correct. Yeah. So we start looking at the inflammatory markers. What we did find is that there's tremendous benefit in the metabolism. The effect is pretty wide. We did a lot of experiments. The initial finding was that we have this so-called type 2 diabetes model. The name of the mice is DBDB. They miss the receptor for leptin so that they don't have satiety, so they eat a lot, like the people who get diabetes type 2 because of excessive caloric intake. In that group of mice, what we found is that we could correct the urine that the typical diabetic mice, they pee a lot, just like a diabetic patient. They have the three polys, polydipsia, polyuria, and polyphagia. They eat too much, they pee a lot, and their urine is not concentrated because they pee too much. So we were able to show that with the whole body vibration, you will regain the urine concentration, the urine osmolality return to normal. You don't have as much urine, and they don't eat as much. And the metabolic benefit by measuring the glucose tolerance, when you give them a big whopping shot of glucose called the glucose tolerance test, and their ability to handle glucose got a whole lot better. And most tellingly, the hemoglobin A1C dropped from about 9% to 6%. So it's a 30% improvement in hemoglobin A1C, which is very, very nice. But this is in diabetic mice.
That's fantastic. That's just absolutely fantastic. So huge metabolic beneficial changes, especially for people with diabetic situation.
Correct. So over the next decade, 15 years, we try to figure out why the WBV can achieve this kind of beneficial effect.
WBV is whole body vibration, right?
Correct. Yeah. So we start looking at the inflammatory markers because type 2 diabetic is associated with high serum glucose level, and you're sort of constantly in a state of chronic inflammation. And indeed, if you just take the blood, you look at IL-17, which is a marker that is very, very pro-inflammatory. It causes all kinds of problems. If it's too high, it's not good. And indeed, in diabetic mice, the IL-17 level ordinarily is very high. Then you look at the arm that's supposed to check or to regulate this pro-inflammatory response is mostly regulatory T cells express this protein called FOXP3. The last year's Nobel Prize was awarded to the three individuals who worked this out. Regulatory T cells are very, very important. We think about the immune system like the military. So the national defense has 5 Ds. Our immune system is our defense system. It has the same 5 Ds. So you have to first detect if some pathogen is coming at you, it's going to kill you, then you should know. So once you detect something is coming, whether it's a missile coming at you or there's an airplane coming at you, you need to discriminate. It is good bacteria that will help me because you carry a lot of bacteria in your body. You actually have more bacteria than you do your own cells. So the second D is discriminate. The third D is once you have decided this is a dangerous situation, then you have to deploy. So for us, we have the natural killer cells, we have the complement system, we have the cytotoxic T cell antibodies. And so just like the ship has all kinds of defense mechanisms, they will send up missiles, they will fire their guns. And whatever this deployment that you decide to use, it has to be able to destroy. So whatever the weapon system you send up, the deployment has to result in destruction. And once the threat is addressed, the last D, the fifth D, is de-escalation. So you need to have a group of people or cells or molecules that can suppress this surge. And things like IL-10 or TGF-beta or type 2 macrophage or regulatory T cells. So we measure the FOXP3 positive cells, and vibration increased a huge amount. So you take a ratio. So our inflammatory index went down by 120-fold. It was a
Wow.
very, very dramatic. It's one of the most impressive in biological system. You hardly ever see this magnitude of a dramatic response. And we see that in the kidneys. And the next phase, we try to figure out why you get this anti-inflammatory effect.
You said the inflammatory condition drops 120-fold. Inflammation causing factors like IL-17 went way down, and the part of your body that calms vibration goes way up. So,
Yeah,
and
right.
the combination results in 120-fold reduction.
That's correct.
That is stunning. That means like if your inflammation markers, if they were say 120, they would drop to 1.
Yeah, that's
Incredible.
exactly correct. Yeah.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Jack, for joining us today. And folks, we will take up this story again on another day. But right now it's time for our whole body vibration workout. So please join us. Get your vibes going. For those of you who haven't done vibration before, it's very important to start slow and build up with vibration. Set it for the amount of time and the settings you know you can handle, and then just keep going with us with your machine off. We're going to do interval training at the same time, and it's also going to combine HIIT workout, which is cardiovascular, as well as resistance training intervals. So here we go. If you have trouble keeping up with me, don't worry about it. There's extra time in there. We're 30 seconds on, 10 seconds to rest while we get in the next position. We're doing a beginner's squat. My knees are a little bent, my hips back a little bit, and pulling up on the straps, which you don't have to do. If you want to just do the beginner's position with your hands here, that's fine. This is a workout for your legs. And if you add the arms, then you're getting the arms, and you're also increasing the pressure, the weight that you're carrying. That's important, actually, even for bone density, because the more impact you have and weight you're carrying, the more effective the signal to your bones. All right, next position is going to be a lunge. One foot on the plate, the other foot behind. And if you can pull on a strap, that's good. Here we go. All right. And okay, pull up. We're doing 2 resistance workout positions, exercises, and that's great for your bone density, right? And then we're going to do a cardio exercise, because getting your heart rate up is fantastic for your body, and whole system works together. Very important. Keep the whole system working. All right, here you go. Can you feel your legs working hard? So when you're on a machine, we're going to move to the next one. Here we go. All right. Next one is going to be cardio. We're going to do a jumping jack type thing. So you can do this, right? Or if you're up for it, you can do a full on jumping jack. Do what's right for you, okay? So you want to be pushing your body a little bit. You don't want to hurt yourself, right? You got to listen to your body. What I was saying earlier is that when you're on a vibration machine, you are actually holding 2 to 3 times your body weight because of the effects of acceleration and gravity, which is awesome because that is another signal to your body to increase bone density. Whew. All right, good job. And we're going to do a whole range of exercises to get the vibration and the signal to all parts of our body. All right, now we're going to do arm pulls. You're standing on the plate and you're pulling out to the side and up with your straps as much as you can. Now I have stretchy straps, but if you don't, if you just have like canvas ones, that's fine. Pull them out to the side and pull as hard as you can. It's that pressure and quivering of muscle fibers on your bones that's signaling bone to build. And anyway, the vibration is telling your stem cells to turn into fat cells. Sorry, to not turn into fat cells, to turn into bone building cells, which is great. All right, we're going to do the other leg lunge. So the other leg this time, and pulling up with the other hand if you can. They're fine if you can. If you don't have strap, you can do all of these exercises without straps. So if your machine doesn't have straps, that's fine. Just put your hands out in front. You can put them here. You can go make it harder by sinking deeper into the squat. Or if you need a little easier, you can move your foot forward and not put as much weight on your front leg. It's just something you can adjust. All of these exercises can be adjusted so that you're challenging yourself. All right, great job. Cardio. Doing another cardio. This time we're doing something called mountain climbing, where you lift your legs up high like this, right? And if you can put a hop into it, like you're running up the mountain, right? Okay, good job. Here we go. You are awesome. Running up the mountain. Amazing. Lift those legs up high. Whew. Even if you're a good athlete, you can have a very challenging exercise session on a vibration machine. In fact, I mean, it was built for Olympic athletes. You can make this from extremely easy to extremely hard just by adjusting the exercises and the machine. The machine I'm on here, and you can find them on my website. And you can find all kinds of stuff in my books. Next exercise is going to be abdominals. My website's bcvibranthealth.com. Abdominal easy is to have either just your hands above your head and crunching your legs, right? Pull your leg up and your arms down at the same time. A little harder, you're using weights. This is just a water bottle, but you could use heavier weights. Hardest one here is the V for victory position. You're in a V shape, right? With just your rear end on the plate. And hold that position with your legs straight if you can. You could have your arms out straight. Ooh, good abdominal core exercise. And that's so important for everything. We're going to do a kind of pushing up using our arms. Grab your weights or no weights if you don't have them, and push up, right? Okay, good job. And you could be doing a little squat. I have some exercises where you're just standing because you're not able to go up and down. That's fine. Just stay standing. And then if you're able to go up and down, you can do a more challenging push-up where you're actually doing a push-up on your vibration machine. And that is very difficult. Whew. Because 10 minutes working out on your machine equals an hour conventional weight training. That's how intense it is. Exercising with vibration. Okay, next one. Another cardio. We're going to be kicking up our heels behind us this time, okay? So running again, but kicking up your heels behind you. All right, here we go. Here we go. Good job. Okay. Oops. Sorry. Okay. Kicking up your heels behind you, like that. Woo. All right. Good job. Almost done. And then we're about halfway through. You can do it. You can do it. Keep going. If you need to slow down, that's fine. Take a little, slow down, breathe. But you want to keep working out. All right. I'm going to do more core exercises. This is the diagonal crunch. Take your weight if you have one, or without weights if you need to. Opposite, put it up to the side, and then opposite leg. And keep going with the same leg, right, like this. We are doing a diagonal crunch on the right side. Core workout helps you with balance, especially if you can get down here, get on one side, and you're doing sort of a modified V for victory. Got one leg out straight, the top leg, the other one bent, one hand on the floor for balance. Touch your elbow if you can, but try to the bottom knee, which is bent. And only your rear was on the plate. Good job. Okay. Tricep dip is next. Now, if you're standing, put your hands up straight with weights if you can, and just move your hands down behind your head. This is targeting the triceps muscle, which is underneath your arm. Makes your arms look nice. All right. All those muscles look good. If you're down here, you want to do a harder tricep dip. Put your legs out in front of you, hands on the plate, and lower your weight up and down. Whew. Okay, the more you put your legs out in front of you, the further out, the harder it is. Okay, here we go. Keep going, you can do it. Yeah, good job. Good job. Okay, next one. Another cardio, right? We're gonna kick out to the sides like that. If you wanna do it walking like this, that's fine. If you need to do a smaller thing, you could just be doing this, okay? Whatever is right for you, but it's good to get your heart rate up and put a hop in it if you can, like this. Okay, good job. Here we go. You are doing awesome things for your body. Indeed, you are. You're getting whole body vibration. You're getting cardio. You're getting resistance training. And all the benefits of whole body vibration, which is vast and really quick. And who can't do 10 minutes, right? A day, 15 minutes, because we're adding the cardio and the HIIT. All right. Second pelvic diagonal crunch up on the other side this time, okay? Here we go. This show is going to be on 3 times a week. And I invite you to come and exercise with us 3 times a week. Join us for the talk and then work out with us. You will be taking care of yourself. All right. If you want to go down here for this diagonal crunch, you could be doing that. It's harder. And that's great if you can do it. Okay. Try to touch that elbow to the knee. Good job. You did it. All right. Pelvic bridge. More core training. Pelvis area. Very, very important. Pelvis bridge. Take your weights if you've got them. Do a little bit of a squat and then push your hips forward. You see what I'm doing? Just getting all these muscles through here. Okay, and tighten it up your glutes. Push your hips as far as possible. Keep doing that. Or if you can come down here, more classic pelvic bridge is to put your feet on the plate with vibration and push your hips up. Lift your hips up. Ready for something even harder? Do a one-legged pelvic bridge on your vibration machine. There you go. All right. Good job. Good job. All right, we got one more cardio and then you're done with the cardios, okay? Here we go, last one. Down, pick something up and throw it. Now you don't have to hop. Just reach down and throw something. If you can't do that, you could just bend over a little bit and push up, right? Or down and up with a hop. Here we go. It's almost like shooting a basketball, right? Pick it up and shoot it. Here we go. Whew. You are a superstar. Here we go. Woo. You will be a superstar if you keep this going. All right. Here we go. Almost done. Then we got two more resistance training exercises. Okay, next one is plank. If you're standing, 3, 2, I want you to do more crunches, okay? Like this. And if you are down here, that's core exercises. And a traditional plank, your elbows are on the plate and you're holding your body straight from shoulders to feet. It gets hard quickly, surprisingly quickly. How hard that gets. Okay, you can do it. Good job. Good job. Hang in there. Woo. Oh, hello, Panda Bear. Okay, this is my dog, Panda Bear. All right, good job. Nice job, everybody. Nice. Okay. All right, go ahead. Pelvic bridge. That was your pushing your hips forward like this. Okay? That's if you're standing. And if you're lying down, pelvic bridge, this time you could do it with your other leg. Okay, there you go. Okay, down here, your legs are up. And we're gonna do the other leg this time. If that's too hard, do the double leg one. But if you wanted to push your hips up and down, you could do that. There we go. Nice. Okay, Panda Bear loves vibration too. All right. There we go. And actually, vibration is fantastic for animals. We'll do a show on that sometime. All right. Nice job, everybody. You can just do any position you want as a massage now. Just relax on here. You could just be standing. You could be lying down with your calves on the machine. You could be sitting on the machine, but you deserve a rest and a massage right now. I'm just going to relax sitting on it. So this is a little warm down and reward after your excellent workout. Good job. Feel all the oxygen and energy zooming around in your body. All right. You did a great job. Keep it going. Consistency is key, especially when you're trying to build bone. You got to be working out 3 times a week, doing resistance training on your machine daily. Don't worry if you miss a day, it's not going to kill anything, but it's, you want to get on there a lot. Put your machine where you're going to trip over it. You don't use it. All right. Thank you all. Have a wonderful week.